All right, what's going on, everybody, and welcome. Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts, doing my Wednesday earnings stream. We're going to be looking at the price reaction to the earnings of AI, which is HPE AI, and there's the closing bell to the regular session. And then we're also going to be looking at the earnings reaction to Hewlett Packard, which is ticker symbol HPE. So I'm streaming right now on the Discord. Got a good amount of people in here. Also streaming on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, I believe. So welcome everyone. Let's have a good time. Price stream for about 30 minutes here as we watch the price reaction to the earnings announcements of AI and HPE. Both of them report at the same time. They're supposed to at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So let's look at AI first. So their consensus EPS is negative. It's negative 13 cents. So we'll see what their EPS ends up coming in at. Their forecast revenue is 87.12 million. So we'll see what those numbers come in at. And going into the earnings announcement, they were trading well below their anchored VWAP. You can see here on this chart Earnings Whispers has for us. Anchored VWAP's probably around 28 bucks, around there. And of course, AI is trading at $23. So trading under the anchored VWAP. I'm going to zoom in on these candlesticks because it looks like we're getting a little volatility already. Probably anticipatory price action because I don't think the data's out yet. I do got my other screen pulled up on the side here, so when the data does come in, I'll post it for everyone on YouTube or what have you. Let me just refresh my screen on AI and make sure they didn't get leaked early or something. Nope, looks like they haven't been released yet, so still waiting on both companies to report. And let me see here, HPE, just a little bit here, $50 million government grant for semiconductor technology expansion in Oregon, and analyst expectations of strong Q3 earnings performance. Let's see here on the bigger time frames. Chart does look like it had some more room down, but those are pretty good expectations leading up to the earnings, and that's Hewlett Packard. So this is on my right screen here. Let's go back to AI real quick. I'm just going to zoom in. Looks like we're getting some kind of volatile candles here. We got a couple minutes to burn until the actual data gets released. So again, going back to AI, trading below the anchored VWAP going into this earnings. Let's just kind of look at some of their previous earnings here. You know, they always do a good job beating EPS. My only concern is their EPS has been negative for like 10 earnings cycles. So they have yet to get back to baseline as far as earnings per share goes. But, you know, on the other side of the coin, you know, they are beating the forecast. So, you know, you could look at that as a good thing. It's just for me on the other side, the EPS not being positive is a little concerning. They, you know, 10 earnings in a row and they can't get a positive EPS. But looking at the previous 4 earnings, what the price was of AI, what the price of AI was after one day after those previous earnings announcements, you can see it's a big mover. You know, double-digit changes in the stock price one day after their previous earnings. For example, the last time on May 29th, they reported earnings. They were up almost 20% the next day. So that's pretty good gain there, especially if you were holding options that ended up going in the money or were in the money. Their earnings on February 28th, they were up almost 24.5% the next day. So back-to-back previous earnings, very positive reaction investors had to the earnings data. So we'll see if they can kind of repeat, see if they can do it a third time. The two before that, they were red the next day, 10%, 12% respectively. Let me just go back to the sticks real quick and see. Okay, still waiting. Got about 25 more seconds before it's officially 4:05 p.m. Eastern, and then the data should technically come out. And that's going to be a kind of a double whammy. So it's kind of hard to talk about both of them at the same time. But went over a little bit of data on AI going into this earnings. Let me actually pull up another screen here. And because I just want to look at some of their fundamentals going in. Okay, getting a negative reaction on AI right now. So their data must be out. You put in Hewlett Packard on the right side. So far, both negative reactions. It's officially 4:05 p.m. Eastern, so this data is got to be out. Let's see if this ends up being the real move, or is this kind of like one of those fake Ruskies and then it goes the other way? Sometimes we see that with the earnings catalysts and stuff like that. Let me just kind of scroll down on my other screen here, and as soon as I get some official data, I'll let everyone know. Let me refresh. Okay, so Hewlett Packard looks like that initial move could have been not the real move here. Y'all just saw it live here on the right side of my screen. Went down to $17.82. Went back up. Now it's kind of just flickering. Maybe it goes back down. Let's see what happens. So far, AI has a negative reaction. Still kind of getting this really flickerish type candle. So anything can happen when these candles are flickering like that. Let me see here. Okay, still waiting on some data. You know what, Hewlett Packard, what I'm most interested in is going to be their revenue, and then any new developments like in their technology sector and stuff like that. That's kind of the info that I would be looking for. Let me kind of go back here again. So AI is still hanging out down here. I mean, it closed the regular session at $23.01. It's down 12, almost 13% right now. And after hours, it doesn't. Let me just see if there's there's a seller imbalance on the order book. So not really seeing many buyers in the picture right now compared to the selling pressure. So this very well could keep going down on AI, and that company name as well is C3.ai Inc. That's the official name of the company, but ticker symbol AI nonetheless. Hewlett Packard's still acting kind of volatile. Like again, it wicked down to $17.82, came back up to $19. Now it's kind of just hanging out right here. $18.70. It closed the regular session at $18.76. Investors are obviously still digesting the earnings data. Again, I think a lot of investors for Hewlett Packard are waiting on, do they have any new developments in the technology sector, and what's their revenue? I really think those are going to be the two main things for Hewlett Packard. Let me just go back to my other screen here. AI not catching a bid at all. They're still down here below 20. Let me just click on the screen here. Yeah, closed the regular session at 23. Okay, got a little bit of, we got some data here. So double beat on AI, but seeing a negative reaction. Let me kind of just pull this over so everyone can see it. So earnings per share, the forecast was negative 0.13. What was the actual expected numbers? And they came in negative 0.05. So negative 13 was forecast and negative only 0.05. So they beat. So that actually was a good beat on EPS. I mean, again, I was talking about this earlier, still negative EPS, that they're getting closer to baseline. Forecast revenue, 86.94 million, and they reported 87.21 million. So double beat, but we're getting a negative reaction. So what does that tell us? Well, we need to look for some forward guidance data. I'm assuming maybe some forward guidance might have been reduced downwards, and that would be probably remainder of fiscal year 2024. Maybe they reduced downwards, or they reduced Q1 of 2025 downwards. So it's probably one of those two things. Let me see if I can get it here. Okay, so let me just read a couple things. So AI reported earnings, revenue 87.2 million. Now that is up 21% year over year, but Subscription revenue also grew 20%. Company achieved positive free cash flow of 7.1 million. They do have cash reserves of 762.5 million. So, it sounds like good data, but we're not getting a good reaction, are we? So that's why I think it's probably forward guidance related. Let me just read a couple other things here. C3 AI closed 71 agreements in Q1, 122% increase year over year, including 52 pilots. Company expanded its presence in state and local government and federal sectors. That's good. That's kind of just, let me see. So they did provide guidance for the full year. They're saying fiscal 2025, and they're saying projecting continued revenue growth. But this is the thing, if their expectations for next year were X amount leading up to this earnings, they can still say, okay, we're still plan on having, we're still projecting continued revenue growth, but is it as much as they were forecasted? And I think that's what the problem is right here. Is yes, they're still projecting revenue growth because having good year over year numbers, we see a lot of companies have growth through their year over year numbers, but that's not really what investors are looking at. Of course, investors are forward looking. And what's a year over year number beat? Well, that's okay. We beat last year's numbers. That's great. But now it's going to come down to the guidance. And if they had pre-existing guidance saying, hey, this is our projected revenue growth for next year, and then with this earnings data, they come out and they say, well, we're still expecting revenue growth for next year, year over year numbers, but it's not as much as we thought. And I think that's why they're not catching a bid here, and you're seeing the selling going on. All right, so that's just kind of my 2 cents there. So of course, the CEO is probably going to be chirping up and sugarcoating all the year over year numbers, but it looks to be that they might have probably reduced it down, even though it's still going to show revenue growth, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's what I think about AI, my 2 cents. Let's flip over to Hewlett Packard real quick. So anyways, double beat on AI, but investors, I don't think, are liking the adjusted guidance. All right. So let's flip over to HPE, Hewlett Packard. I'm assuming their data's out. I haven't had a chance to check because we were looking into AI. Let me see here. Okay, Hewlett Packard. Here we go. Yeah, I got some good data here from Alpha Sense. So pretty good source. I can kind of just pull this over here. So revenue 7.7 billion, up 10% from the prior year period. So okay, that's fine. Got the GAAP and non-GAAP up 9% and 2% respectively from the prior year period. Annualized revenue run rate ARR 1.7 billion, up 35% from the prior year period in actual dollars and 39% in constant currency. A couple notes from the CEO. We delivered a strong third quarter with impressive revenue growth, especially from our AI system conversion. Well, I would hope so. The name, it's Hewlett Packard. I mean, come on, give me a break. They need to be involved in some sort of AI if they're gonna stick around, right? So anyways, delivered a strong third quarter, impressive revenue growth, especially from our AI system conversion. We improved profitability, said Antonio Neri, President and CEO of Hewlett Packard. These results reflect our momentum in delivering on our edge to cloud strategy across networking, hybrid cloud, and AI. We have driven meaningful innovation throughout our portfolio, which increases our relevancy with customers and positions us to continue to deliver profitable growth for shareholders. I've got some pretty strong statements to build confidence for the shareholders, I suppose. In the third quarter, we executed well in a competitive macro environment to deliver strong revenue and EPS above the high end of our guidance. That was from the CFO. Well positioned to capture share of the growing AI infrastructure market and expect to see the continuing benefit of our cost management efforts. We're confident in finishing the year strong and are raising EPS guidance as a result. So they actually raised EPS guidance. That's good. Again, not really seeing a positive reaction on the price action. So, all right, they raised. I'm assuming they raised the EPS guidance for the remainder of fiscal year 2024. So of course they're only going to talk about the good things, a lot of times when they make these kind of statements. But dig deeper into it, and they might have adjusted 2025 downwards. And we've seen some companies do that where there's, especially in this space, with tech and stuff like that, is are we at the top of the hype of the AI for now? And a lot of these companies are revising their guidance for 2025. It's still a great guidance in the grand scheme of things. There's still going to be growth there, and there's still going to be very much profitable companies, the majority of them. But what they're doing is they're kind of reducing the guidance, and it kind of tells us something that is the demand going. The demand is not as much anymore as they thought, or just kind of think about it. But like I say, they can still adjust the guidance downwards, but it still be good guidance. So that's kind of my point. But yeah, AI is still sitting down here, hasn't really caught a bid yet for any type of retracement. Let me zoom out a little bit here and just get this Fibonacci out of the way. That was probably an old one I drew. Let me just zoom back in. It did wick down to $19.01. It's looking like it wants to make another new low in after hours, and it just did as I was talking. So new low in after hours for AI, $18.90. I could go ahead and say congratulations to the bears if you were bearish on stock AI. But it's not over yet. Still got a little less than 4 hours left in extended hours price action that the stock could experience. And then of course the pre-market data tomorrow morning. So we're just going to have to see if it does find the bottom here. Then maybe we can pop a Fibonacci on there, see where some of these retracement levels are. And if it starts retracing some of those levels, maybe it gives us a little more confidence that it will turn around. If not, this could just turn into a trend, and maybe it continues trending down. Let's look at the daily chart and just see where some of these levels are. So trading at $19.20. It's obviously after hours is open, so it's changing. So it's already blew past this what you would call support from April 15th, where it came down to $20.23. So it's already below that. So obviously we're going to have to zoom out a little further. We got this level here, $16.75 could be a level of interest. Just curious here. I want to pop on the volume profile and see where some of the volume's been coming in on this stock over a certain period of time. Weekly, yeah, I can just kind of zoom in on the weekly a little bit. And yeah, it's kind of hard to look at the volume profile on the weekly. Daily might be a little better. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, there's not much volume that's come in at these lower levels. So hopefully it's not a scenario where it just doesn't fall off a cliff here. Because they're just not. I mean, there's definitely volume there, but compared to the volume that came in around $20 to $30, I would call it maybe that $10 area. That's where the bulk of the volume has come in on this stock. Dating back to mid 2022. That's what this volume profile shows on the screen here, and as you can see, basically below $20. I mean, $19.84 would be the bottom of this volume node. But basically, if AI can't recover $20 soon, maybe give it a day or two to see if it starts clawing back. But that might be a tough level to get back above once that level's lost. There's just not a lot really holding this up below there. This could end up back towards $10 if it continues to be bearish. Obviously for the AI bulls, that's not what you want. But just looking at the volume profile, like I say, not really much holding it up below on these lower levels. So we'll see if it starts retracing back up. Going into the earnings, they had a PE ratio well in the negative 42. Now that's the forecast PE. EPS was negative 2.34. Let's look at some of the financials here. Net income, yeah, they just, just not a profitable company right now. I'm not saying that, maybe one day they will be profitable, maybe, um, you know, but, if history is any indication, you can kind of look at these numbers here and, they're obviously in the AI space. So that's a lot of startup costs and stuff like that involving that, especially with, hardware and software, everything they need for AI costs a lot of money. And that is a reason why a lot of these AI companies, don't show a profit in the beginning. But they've been bleeding out year over year, and it's just kind of getting worse. This is over a 5-year period, and you're not really seeing much improvement, right? Not even a year where they did well and okay, they fell off again, but it's just straight downward kind of on the net income for the past 5 years. So that's not really appealing, in my opinion. Other people might have other opinions, and maybe the what this company AI is trying to do, in the future is very appealing, and that's why they, have obviously shareholders and investors. But balance sheet debt to asset only 15%. That's pretty good. Let me just look at the itemized statement here. Yeah, and that's kind of what they were saying today with their cash position. I believe it was like, I think that increased a little bit to like 770 million. And going into this earnings, cash and equivalents were at 750 million. So their cash position has been increasing, and this is year over year number. 2022, they had more. 2021, they had over a billion. Let's look at the quarterly. Yeah, I guess, from the past two earnings, back January 31st of this year, their cash position was 723 million. Then fast forward to April of this year, 750 million. And then I think they just reported cash reserves. Yeah, right here, 762 million. And that's their cash reserves. Okay. So not all bad. It's just they're just having trouble pulling a profit. And when the day comes when they can finally pull a profit, I'd be pretty excited about this company. But they're just not catching a bid right now. And obviously, reaction to earnings is bearish. Going back to HPE, they got just some funky looking candles here. What was the volume on that today? 18 million. Okay, not bad. 3-month average. Average volume 3-month of 15.6 million. So a little bit more volume today than normal, but just funky looking candles. And Hewlett Packard sold off to $17.82. Had this big green wick candle, wicked all the way back up, and came down, and then obviously this candle started up here, so it's like right back up there, and then right back down here. So there's just really funky candles. Might be a little tough to trade this if you're just trying to trade in after hours with the shares right now. AI just made another new low in after hours, $18.69. Like I was saying, y'all, when we were looking at that daily time frame, kind of zooming out a little bit, there just wasn't a lot of volume coming in on this stock below $20. So, it's trading well into the $18 range now. This could, wouldn't surprise me if this loses another dollar or two. Maybe it finds support from this level of interest from April, and you can see a little bitty volume node sticking out here. Maybe it'll catch a shelf there, but that's gonna be around $17. So it's trading at 18.75 now. I wouldn't it wouldn't surprise me if it came down to 17 and maybe retest that level of interest, which was from basically beginning of May, I would say. So, just if you have a current position with it, just keep your eye on it for the remainder of after hours. Definitely would like to see $17 hold. If sellers keep up the momentum here, we want to see buyers jump into the picture around $17. Okay, so we'll kind of see what happens. If it starts forming a bottom, and again, this is a 15-minute candle, so let me kind of zoom in a little bit. We're only, from this catalyst, all we have to work with is as far as what it's going to do the remainder of after hours, if it does start retracing, all we got is these 1 minute candles to kind of go off of. So if it does start forming a bottom, you go 1 minute here, you see it start curling up a little bit, maybe throw a Fibonacci on there, just draw from the top of this red candle right here. I wouldn't use the candles before the actual catalyst, but right here, 1 minute after earnings data was released, top of that red candle, drop it down to where you think the bottom might be forming. And this really needs to get above this 25% retrace, which it lines right up with basically $20. That was that level. Like, lose that 20, there's a good chance to come down to 17, and that's kind of what it's trying to do right now. But like I say, just keep your eye on it for the remainder of after hours. If you do have a position, if it starts forming a bottom, slap a Fibonacci. Just first level of interest would be this 25% retrace, because most stocks, once they form a bottom, normally you're going to get that 25% little retrace. And two things could happen from there. It can get rejected from there and then go on to make another low in after hours. Or if it does break that 25%, then we got some other levels up here. And as each level breaks, as it's clawing back, your confidence level should be increasing as far as you trying to figure out if this thing is actually going to recover or not. But as you can see right here, it just made another new low. So you can keep the Fibonacci on there, but as it makes new lows, just keep moving it down. And then as soon as it finally forms a bottom, then boom, just spot out where the 25% retrace is and just know it needs to get back above there for any chance of this having a clawing back. But yeah, it's still making new lows, so I'll just delete this for now. As soon as it calms down and the sellers pump the brakes a little bit, then we can go back to more of the technical analysis stuff. But right now, unless you're short, this could be, not financial advice, but in my opinion, if you did want to short this in after hours, as long as it keeps making lower highs and lower lows, you could stay in the trade, maybe put your stop loss above one of these previous lower highs, if you will, right here. From because it's basically trending down now, right? You got the catalyst God candle, if you want, and then now it's downtrending. So just keep your eye. If it keeps making lower highs and lower lows, you can stay in the trade and just short it and try and get as much as you can out of it. Move your stop along the way, and obviously just keep moving your stop down. Like right now, my stop would probably be around $19.50 or something. And if it keeps making newer lows, then you can move your stop down to looks like this right. Well, these two candles here right around $19. So you can go from 19.50 to 19, and then just move your stop along the way. That's how I would play it. Just get some quick money in after hours, if you will. So anyways, looks like we got our reactions we were looking for. It's been about 30 minutes. Got quite a few people tuning in here. Lots of Twitter people. We got some people on YouTube. Of course, the Discord. My family over here in the Discord. And let's make sure I didn't miss any comments. And okay, looks like they were having trouble viewing the screen on Discord. Yeah, gotta love Discord sometimes, right? Anyways, let me go ahead and wrap things up. So if anyone's looking for a new home, my name is Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. There's a link in the description. You can actually sign up for free, check out our free section, see how you like it, and then kind of go from there. But I do this every Wednesday and go over some tickers that are reporting earnings. We go over the earnings reactions, talk about some of the previous earnings data, look at some technical analysis levels and things of that nature. And also in our Discord, we have different coaching groups. So depending on the types of trading that you do, if you're a day trader and all you do is day trading, we have an analyst for that. His name's Ethan. He live trades basically every market open for like an hour and a half. And he just trades options in the morning and then he's done for the day. So if that's your kind of trading, we that's going to be Ethan. If you just swing trade, maybe you just swing trade stocks and even options. But if you're a swing trader, then we have an analyst for that. His name is Lee. His Discord name is Mad Maverick, and he's been here forever. One of the lead analysts. And then We also have another coach that all they do is technical analysis trades. Okay, basically just trading technical analysis, and that's all they do. So if that's your cup of tea, we got someone for that. His name's Jay. And then me personally, I do the advanced options trading, which would be your multi-leg options. So I do a lot of spreads, I do a lot of condors, I run the wheel strategy, I do cash secured puts, covered calls, that kind of thing. Basically target income, weekly and monthly income. So if that's your kind of trading, then you're gonna come see me, the Swinging Bull. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. And if you do join the group, I look forward to meeting you. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night. And I'll see everybody later. Cheers.